I'm so sorry I voted for Trump. I didn't know he was going to take away Social Security from 150-year-olds.
I have a daughter who works for USA, and she's stuck over in another country and can't go home. I got 7 more years before I retire. They get ready to take the money that I worked hard for since I was 16 years old, and now I'm 57, and I won't have nothing.
Where are you from?
The UK.
Okay, we don't give a about your opinion and your reporting. Why don't you go back to your country where you have a major migrant problem? And you no, you should care about your own borders.
Do you care
no,
about
no,
American
no,
lives being put at
no.
risk?
Let me tell you something. Do you care about people from your country? What about all the women that are raped by migrants?
Do you care
No,
about
by migrants. No, do you care? Okay, you're done.
Do you care about American lives being put at risk?
You know what? I don't care. I don't.
Service members.
For the last 5 years, I've invested my whole life into
Loving my time being a part of the MAGA crowd. I feel like there is just like one little thing that maybe we need to address before it gets out of control. There seems to have been like a resurgence of this word, especially on X, from the MAGA community. A lot of us are autism parents like me, and we don't appreciate the use of that word because it has been used to...
I cried and then begged them to lose it up. They said like, you're fine, and ignored me. Then I was coming close to the bus. That lady like saw, and she's like fixed it. And I was like, oh my god, like that's crazy how your life can like.
Over the last 2 months, I just didn't expect.
If you are here and you're not a U.S. citizen, I don't care what kind of documentation you have, and I don't care how long you're staying, whether it's for a week or years, go. If you can go, go. And I know this is what they want, and I hate it because I love to be like, resist. But ending up in an ICE detention facility is not an act of resistance. And
Something unsettling is unfolding in America, and even some MAGA voters are beginning to take notice. You ever watch a horror movie where the townspeople finally realize the creature they welcomed in isn't just misunderstood? It's actually a nightmare. That's the vibe in America right now. Except this isn't Hollywood. It's real life. And the monster? He calls himself King Trump. No, really, he said that out loud.
I have a daughter who works for USA, and she's stuck over in another country and can't go home. I got 7 more years before I retire. They get ready to take the money that I worked hard for since I was 16 years old, and now I'm 57, and I won't have nothing. And I'm struggling. I am struggling, and they don't get.
I regret voting for Trump. You guys told me I would, and here we are, just barely over a month after he was sworn in, and I have so many reasons, so many disappointments, and I've lost so many rights as a woman already, so I guess I'll just start listing the reasons why. So many rights gone as a woman. Starting with I mean, did I lose rights? I thought I did. See, I was told so many times by the left that I lost all of my rights because I'm a woman. So I mean, I thought for sure I did, but now that I'm trying to come up with a list, it's just not coming to the tip of my tongue here. I don't know. Maybe we'll try again after I do some research.
And you're reporting. Why don't you go back to your country where you have a major migrant problem? And you no. You should care about your own borders.
Do you care
no,
about
no,
American
no.
lives being put at risk?
Let me tell you something. Do you care about people from your country? What about all the women that are raped by migrants?
Do you care
No,
about
by migrants. No, do you care? Okay, you're done.
Do you care about American lives being put at risk?
You know what? I don't care.
Service members fighting for your country.
I don't care about
And
your
vice
fake news.
president
Do you have a
and your
relevant
defense
question?
secretary.
Yeah, this is an American journalist. Thank you.
I'm an American, and I'd like to hear your answer to what she's asking.
I'm not answering her question because I don't care about her network. If you would like to ask I can answer.
There is just like one little thing that maybe we need to address before it gets out of control. There seems to have been like a resurgence of this word, especially on X from the MAGA community. A lot of us are autism parents like me, and we don't appreciate the use of that word because it has been used to demean and embarrass our kids.
Hi Lilo, you sound a lot like me before I left the MAGA party. When I was over there, I got made fun of for feeding the homeless people. They made fun of me because I told conservative influencers not to stitch autistic children and send their hundreds of thousands of followers to go make fun of them. You are not going to instill empathy, and you're not going to instill morals into these people. They are devoid of such. I mean, really, like, go over to X. All of your favorite creators are dropping the N-bombs constantly. They're praising the likes of 1940s Germany, if you will. You voted for a side that actively made fun of Tim Walz's autistic son during the election cycle. You voted for a man who openly mocked a disabled reporter. And you really think you're gonna
I'm so sorry I voted for Trump. I didn't know he was gonna take away Social Security from 150-year-olds. That he was gonna defund trans operas in Colombia. If I had known, I would not have voted for him.
My chest, super tight, and I couldn't breathe properly. I was really scared because I thought I'm not gonna be able to breathe. I cried and then begged them to lose it up. They said, like, you're fine, and ignored me. But then I was coming close to the bus. That lady, like, so, and she, like, fixed it. And I was like, oh my god, like, that's crazy how your life can, like, be treated like this. Like, for sure, it was the most scary moment.
The cost of living is devouring people whole. Rent feels like a mortgage, and a trip to the grocery store now costs more than a car payment. Average Americans, hardworking, God-fearing, tax-paying folks, are barely treading water under Trump 2.0. It's as if someone slammed the economic chaos button and walked away, leaving the middle class to drown while billionaires shop for their fifth yacht. Here's the twist. Some MAGA voters, the ride-or-die crowd with red hats and Facebook conspiracy threads, are getting emotional. And not just the misty-eyed during the anthem kind of emotional. We're talking full-blown regret. Some are even asking, what were we thinking? To be fair, we tried to warn them, but back then, we were just alarmists, haters, or worst of all, liberals. Now, some of them are whispering the unthinkable. We might have made a mistake. Meanwhile, America, the land of the free, home of the brave, is looking more like the land of the detained and the paranoid. Immigrants, tourists, even people just passing through, they're being treated like criminals. No due process, no dignity, just fear and confusion. And the rest of the world? Oh, they're watching. Some countries are literally warning their citizens not to travel here. Not because of war, not because of a pandemic, but because we're now ruled by a man who thinks he's some kind of royal overlord. And his loyalists? They're just fine with it.
Thank you for being here, because what you are managing, so many people, understandably so, would be in a fetal position in the corner, in bed right now. But you were here advocating for your baby girl, fighting for yourself, and other workers like her and you. I want to express my gratitude to both of you, because the humanitarian work of USAID is essential. I thank you for being here. Y'all, I really do look forward to a day where no one has to relive their trauma to compel action from their government.
Let that sink in. America, once the shining city on a hill the land people dreamed of, fought for, and ran to, is now a cautionary tale. A future Netflix documentary in the making. We're watching ourselves slip toward authoritarianism like it's just another reality show, except this time, the stakes are real. And unless more people, left, right, center, MAGA, or me, decide to stand up and speak out, this nightmare won't just fade to black. It'll get a sequel. And this time, the ending might not come with a resolution. It might just roll with credits.
You are not a U.S. citizen, don't come to this country. If you are here and you're not a US citizen, I don't care what kind of documentation you have, and I don't care how long you're staying, whether it's for a week or years, go. If you can go, go. And I know this is what they want, and I hate it because I love to be like, resist. But ending up in an ICE detention facility is not an act of resistance. And it does not matter if you are white passing. It does not matter how smart you are or what you're contributing, or if you're just visiting and you're a tourist. Don't. It's not safe here. We're not safe. They are detaining US citizens. They are detaining tourists. There was a 28-year-old backpacker, a young woman, who is now in an ICE detention facility. It does not matter. If you're leaving and I can come with you, I would love that. Let me know how to do that. I have a master's degree and I'm a very nice person. I'll be very good to your country. But this ain't the place. Get out while you can.
I never thought I'd say this, but I regret voting for Donald J. Trump. When he said he would get the illegals out, I cheered, but I didn't think about how it would affect me. Maria won't come to the house anymore because she's afraid ICE is going to deport her. I had to clean my own baseboards. Do you know how hard it is to get dog hair out of shiplap? And my nail technician said she's moving back to her home country because she's afraid. Who's gonna fill my nails? And my daughter, she's an equestrian, and all the farm hands have left, and so now we have to shovel out our own horse shit.
Just kidding. I would rather eat glass and wash it down with a warm white claw than vote for Velveeta Voldemort. And for all of you that regret your vote now that it's affecting you, I don't have any sympathy. I hope you get everything you voted for.
That camera towards toilets, which is like ridiculous. They say like it's a man facility for that's why like they have men first, like it's men, it was priority, women like the last, like visitor section, no bed, to like anti-sanitary small tiny piece of soap for 26 people at the moment. It was gone like the same day. I will never forget one very early morning when we were like sleeping and the door opened and the man looked at us with a shock on his face. I will never forget his face. He covered his face right away with his t-shirt. I can only imagine how it was smelled in the room. I will never forget his face. It made me like to feel more sorry for myself, like we were worse than animals.
The current administration's approach to human rights has drawn international criticism, straining relationships with long-standing allies and diminishing America's standing as a global defender of democracy. What makes this moment particularly unsettling is that these shifts aren't happening quietly. They're unfolding under a spotlight, with millions watching in real time as the U.S. seems to veer further from the values it once championed. At home, the situation isn't any more reassuring. The American middle class is buckling under a relentless cost of living crisis. Essentials like rent, groceries, and fuel have soared to levels that are forcing families to make impossible choices. A recent Federal Reserve report notes that over 40% of Americans say they're worse off financially than they were just a year ago. And perhaps the most unexpected shift? It's coming from within Trump's own base. A growing number of MAGA supporters, once diehard believers, are now expressing regret. Many have taken to social media and even local news interviews to say they feel betrayed. Promises of economic revival and national unity now ring hollow against the backdrop of rising prices and authoritarian rhetoric. One viral post on Reddit summed it up. "We thought he'd fix things. Now we're scared of what he'll break next." Meanwhile, the international community is responding. Countries like Canada, Germany, and New Zealand have issued travel advisories, warning their citizens about potential civil unrest and the erosion of legal protections in the U.S. This isn't about war or natural disasters. It's about perceived instability under a government that's leaning more toward fear than freedom. Experts warn that when populist leaders start viewing themselves as above the law, democracy begins to unravel at the seams. When a leader literally calls himself a king, you're not in a republic anymore. You're in trouble. So here's the question. If both international observers and disillusioned citizens are raising the alarm, how much longer can these warning signs be ignored? Is America at a tipping point, or has it already tipped over? Let us know what you think. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more bold, fact-based breakdowns of the world we're living in.